The firefighters suddenly noticed something terrifying. The wildfire had shifted direction, and it was barreling straight toward the village. But instead of rushing to put it out, he struck a match. He watched the flame crawl down to his fingers and realized this fire was way beyond control. He immediately ordered the villagers to evacuate in an orderly way, but nobody took him seriously. They'd rather soak their houses with water than leave. As the fire closed in, panic finally set in and people started to flee. But by then, the main road was already blocked by roaring flames. As fire chief, he knew time was running out. There was only one rescue helicopter, so women and children had to go first. The rest would have to cut through the forest and reach a river 4 kilometers away. But the car was too heavy. The helicopter just didn't have the lift. They had to shed 200 kilos of weight. With no other choice, the mothers tearfully said goodbye to their kids. And with the pilot giving it everything he had, the chopper finally lifted off. Thick smoke turned day into night. The kids sat frozen in fear. Sam tried to calm them down, but then one of the ropes suddenly snapped. The car swung violently, and the kids screamed in terror. Suddenly, the pilot spotted a clearing, dropped down, and scrambled to get the kids aboard. In the middle of the chaos, Sam leapt out, unhooked the rope, and rushed the kids onto the helicopter. But when the pilot tried to lift off again, the bird wouldn't move. No matter how hard he pulled, it was useless. They had to lose even more weight, so Sam started tossing out everything: tools, bags, even fire extinguishers. He even threw away his favorite guitar, but it still wasn't enough. Out of options, Sam told the pilot to dump a ton of fuel since they still had the backup tank. Then he grabbed a fire extinguisher to fight off the nearby flames, buying just a few precious seconds. Finally, everyone piled onto the helicopter, but it hovered barely 2 meters off the ground. Still not enough lift, so Sam stripped off his shoes, even his clothes, but it made no difference. With the fire about to reach the spilled fuel, Sam made a final choice. He told the kids to shut their eyes and said, "When I count to 3, a miracle will happen."
1, 2, 3!
And somehow, a miracle did happen. The helicopter rose into the air. When the kids opened their eyes, Sam was gone. To save their lives, he had jumped out. Standing in the firelight, Sam showed no fear. And then the raging inferno, like a pack of wild beasts, swallowed him whole. Meanwhile, the fire chief was leading the villagers on a desperate escape toward the river. On the way, they watched their homes vanish into the flames, their grief written on their faces. But they had no choice. They had to keep moving. Soon they were trapped again. Even the battle-hardened chief was stunned. Thankfully, the river was only 300 meters away. The chief made a risky call. He tied a rope around himself to mark the path and went in search of an opening. His plan was to fire a flare so everyone could follow the trail to safety, and so began a race against time. The chief charged through the blaze, marking the way as he ran. The fire roared. Smoke choked the air. One wrong step and he'd be crushed by burning trees. But somehow he pushed on. Bruised but alive, he kept searching. And then he ran into an even bigger wall of fire. Still, he didn't stop. He pulled his hood tight, gripped his axe, and hacked his way through the flames. At last, he saw the river ahead, but the smoke was so thick he could barely open his eyes. He couldn't waste a second. He fired the flare, but to his horror, it was a dud. The hope that had just sparked instantly died. Exhausted and broken, the chief collapsed to the ground.